Hey, I'm Claire,
And I'm Janice.
and this is The X-Files, a podcast about breakups, broken hearts, and moving on.
We are breakup coaches here to help you beat your breakup
Heal your broken heart.
and move on to an amazing, abundant life.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode, one of this week's episodes of The X-Files. We are so excited. Are you excited, Janice? I'm excited.
Yeah, I love talking about confidence, and
Yes.
I know that it's something that a lot of people struggle with, and it's something that I kind of consider myself to be good at, shall we say. And I think we've got some really great information. So yes, I have been really looking forward to this one. For sure.
Yeah. And so, I mean, you probably could tell from the title of the episode, but this is about regaining confidence after a breakup specifically. And this is something that has come up with pretty much every single client. And it's that kind of shock to the system, like throwing off your confidence after a breakup, because we'll talk about it.
Yeah. So if you find what we say helpful, we would love to know. And we would love if you would jot down some notes and put it into a lovely review on Apple Podcasts for us.
Yeah.
We are kind of taking things to the next level now that
Mhm.
we've been doing this for several months now, and that will help us do that.
Yeah, exactly. Reviews make a huge difference. The only place I know of to review is Apple Podcasts, because of course the reviews there get pushed onto every
Yes.
other site. So even
Mhm.
if you're listening on Spotify, which I know is like most of our listeners.
Yeah, that's where I listen. I love my
Yeah.
Spotify, but I still do go and I leave the reviews on Apple for my
Yeah.
podcast.
So I don't know what to
faves.
do or what to tell you if you don't have an Apple account. So
Yeah,
I
good
don't know.
point. I guess if you don't, you don't. We still love you.
Yeah,
Head over to
exactly.
the DMs and let us know what you think
Yeah,
there. But if you
totally.
do have Apple, that would also be great. We hear from
Yeah.
people all the time about how much this means to them. And if you want to, share the love a little further, that is a way that you can do it. So we'd be
Yes.
very, very thankful.
So thankful. Yep. So with that, without further ado, let's
get
get into it. Yeah. So
Confidence.
confidence. We could like literally talk about this all day, or do like a 10 episode series. Perhaps in the future we'll do a series on this. But this episode is going to be like very general confidence building. We're not going to get like
primer.
too deep into it. Yeah, this is like the 101 course.
Confidence 101.
Yeah. So like I said before, like so many of my clients have had this as a running theme in our sessions: confidence in speaking up, confidence in setting boundaries, your self-worth, lovability, feeling like you have to earn love. Have you found that too?
Yes, absolutely. I think this is one reason why there are breakup coaches. And what I see is, people who come to me are fairly self-reflective. And because they're so recently having gone through a breakup, they sort of feel like there must be something in them that needs fixing. Like they're overly aware of how their patterns show up. I do see a lot of people who kind of blame themselves for what happened. They want to do things differently in the future. They're trying to figure out what they need to do differently. I hear a lot of like, what's wrong with me? Is this, and am I to this? Am I to that? So they're being self-reflective, which is what you, I guess, quote, should do after a breakup, but it's kind of in this really self-critical way. And yes, that's not very confidence building for sure.
Yeah. And I think that's like just a symptom of the fact that there's like internalizers and externalizers. There's people who blame themselves and see it as something they can fix. And then there's people who are like, everything that happens to them is someone else's fault.
That's
and those
true.
people are not usually coming to coaching.
Exactly. Right. It's also why a lot of the literature about internalizers and externalizers is geared towards internalizers, because externalizers are not very likely to to
Yeah.
read it or listen to it.
Exactly. Or just, assume that there's something that they can do. But it does have like negative consequences because
Oh yeah.
sometimes it isn't your
Mhm.
fault.
Mhm.
Like there's not something you should change or anything like that. There's not
Or there's
really,
things that you can
you
change
know.
that doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you.
Yeah,
And when it
exactly.
comes to a breakup, it's not never one person,
Yeah.
but a lot of people think that it is and that it was them.
Hmm.
um,
Oh,
and
no.
of course, if someone broke up with you, your system does naturally process it as a rejection, and that's one of the
Yeah.
worst things to feel. And the logical brain does try and figure out why we were
Hmm.
rejected. What did I do? Why didn't they love me? And of course, you blame yourself, you shame yourself, you judge yourself. It's, yeah, doesn't feel good, doesn't really lead to good outcome. And if you were the one to end things, your confidence can still take a hit. So this is for both. I think it's just kind of different. If someone broke up with you, you're dealing with the rejection. But if you ended things, you could also be experiencing lower confidence because you're disappointed in it not working out. You might
Yeah.
feel like you can't make a relationship work. You
Yeah.
might feel like you really want love in your life, but you don't have it. And all
Hmm.
of these things chip away at the confidence as well.
Yeah. There's like, I think one specific thing I struggled with when I broke up with my ex-fiance
Mhm.
was trusting my decision and trusting that I made
Yeah.
the right decision. And I
Yes.
wasn't
Yep.
just this like lunatic out here, like letting a great guy go
Right. Right.
for no reason,
Mm-hmm.
So that
Mm-hmm.
was like where my confidence was. I'm like, can I trust my observations? Can I trust what I feel in the moment? And that really eats at your confidence if you can't like trust the decisions that you make.
Yep. I think a lot of people talk about sabotage, and you might be thinking, did I sabotage something good? Am I sabotaging my
Exactly.
happiness? Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Second guessing yourself for sure.
So, yeah. And then also for a lot of people, their self-worth depends on being in a relationship and
Hmm.
being in this specific relationship.
Yep. Yep.
Like being in a relationship can be kind of a status symbol. It can also
Yep.
give you a lot of like purpose,
Hmm.
especially if
Hmm.
you're, wanting the marriage, kids, etc.
Yeah.
thing, it can feel like, well, shit, I was on this path. This is what
Right.
I thought my purpose was to have
Hmm.
a family.
Hmm. Especially, and if maybe you're farther along, age wise than you want to be, to have all of this still not taking place. And yeah, you can blame yourself for that, for sure.
Yeah, yeah, and especially if like I think divorce too ties into this as well. There's like,
Yeah.
oh no, like I'm divorced and now you have like this label on you.
Yeah, I
Um
think, I mean, as a divorced person, I don't think it's as bad as it was. So when you're
yes.
first divorced, that's what you think, is that
Yeah.
there's a stigma and that you're now a divorcee. And so and that's what I thought for sure. But I can guarantee anyone who's getting divorced listening, the farther along you get, like no one really cares. You don't
Yeah.
even think about it. It's not a label. I
Exactly.
actually check single when asked about relationship status, not divorce. Like it's not a thing. It doesn't define
Yeah.
you. If you're thinking that way, it's totally normal. I was scared to even tell people I dated at
Yeah.
first, and no,
Yeah.
it's not a thing. Not a thing after a while.
Yeah. No, I can imagine because I wasn't even divorced, but I was like, when do I tell someone I'm dating that I was like once engaged? Like, I was like,
No one
okay, fuck
cares.
you. Like you're fine.
Mhm.
Sorry.
Hey, we're
Um,
18 and up here. Say what you
yeah.
want to say.
Yeah, say what you want. I just, I don't tell myself fuck you that often.
Oh,
So
oh, you told yourself.
that's I'm
I got
like,
it.
come
Okay,
on,
maybe I
man.
wasn't
It
listening
doesn't
well enough.
matter that much.
Okay.
And it really
No,
didn't.
really
So
doesn't.
yeah, and
Really
no one
doesn't.
really cared either. They were
Mm-mm.
like, oh, great, someone liked you enough to like
Yeah,
do that.
exactly.
That like reflects well on you.
Yep.
So yeah. So yeah, blaming yourself for the ending, feeling like things ended because you're not enough in some way will make the healing from the breakup so much harder. And also allowing your confidence to stay in its low damage state, even if you're like, okay, I'm over them, I'm, doing better, I'm not like pining for them. But if you haven't recovered your confidence and you start to date again, it's going to have ramifications.
Absolutely. And this is what I definitely see. A lot of people who we interact with in our community and clients as well, they often want to start dating quite quickly. I'm sometimes surprised. And I
Yeah.
notice that it shows up immediately, the lack of confidence for sure.
Yeah.
And not having confidence in the dating world, people just slow it down. You don't have
Yeah.
to do it right away. Like, examine how you're showing up, because if you don't have confidence, you're not going to attract people who are confident. You
Yeah.
could kind of have a bad chooser. Your judgment can be skewed a little. You might
Yeah.
be wanting to go for kind of the first person who, kind of makes you feel good, the first person who's into you.
Yeah.
You can, I really wish that I had a better word for desperate, but there's a desperate
Yeah.
energy that you
Yeah.
can put out there, that is not very attractive to people who have a high vibration.
Exactly.
And you can just make decisions that lead to more heartache. So
Yeah.
it
In
takes.
worst case scenario, someone can take advantage of you,
Mhm.
you
Yes,
know?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So
You need yeah, let's work on it before we get too much out there,
yeah,
everyone.
exactly. Yeah. And I think this like reminds me, we just did like a Facebook Live with Whitney, who had been on the show. It's on Janice's Instagram page if you want to go
Mhm.
watch it. But we
Yeah, so
talked
it was an
about,
Instagram live, not a
yeah, it was
Facebook
an
live, but
Instagram. Oh, sorry.
it's okay. You just said two
An
separate things.
Instagram live.
It's all good.
And yeah, we talked about women making the first move, and confidence and the energy that you're putting out really came up in that
Mhm.
conversation. So
Yep.
that's a good one if you want to go and have a look on
Yeah, I mean,
Janice's
this is a little off
Instagram.
topic, but I think the point of it was that it's much more about your confidence in dating, not
Yeah,
really if you or the other person asks out first. So,
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah. So
it's
it
worth
was
the
just,
time and effort for sure.
yeah. Yeah. All right. So there's just one thing I want to clarify, because this is where I always got tripped up with confidence, because I'm
Okay.
like, I've got great confidence. I've never thought that I had bad confidence, because I'm like,
Okay.
yeah, I'm really good at stuff. I am totally capable.
Mm-hmm.
But I also felt very much like I had to earn love, etc. Like kind of like I had to be perfect in order for me to get good things in life.
Okay.
And so that brings up like the topic of self-efficacy versus worthiness. So you can believe that you are capable, highly skilled person with a lot to offer the world, and be like,
Mm-hmm.
yes, I have good confidence. But
Uh-huh.
then you can also still feel like you don't deserve things, or that you have to constantly prove your worth or earn love. And so there's like two types of confidences. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cause
I like
I
it.
was always so resistant, because I'm like, yeah, like I'll, get the promotion, I'll do well on the job, I'll do these things. But I think it was like personal relationships where my confidence was lower. And I was like actually kind of oblivious to
I
it.
actually, now that you're saying this, I can absolutely say that I've seen this show up in my coaching. I will talk to people when they start saying these things about, I need to figure out what's wrong with me. I need to,
Yeah.
and people use those words really.
Yeah.
And then when I try and say, okay, so I think this is a matter of confidence. Oh, no, no, no. Like, I'm
I
great.
have
I
great
know that.
confidence. Yeah.
But yeah,
Exactly.
it's the proving your worthiness to, potential mates, which, yeah, I
Yeah.
guess you wouldn't do if you said it's your worthiness is higher.
Yeah, yeah, like
Okay, got
worthiness.
it.
Yeah, like all of these words are very linked with just like kind of subtle differences. And, we may have kind of different, those subtleties may differ person to person. It's not like we're all working off the same
Hmm.
like Webster
Gotcha.
dictionary. So
Okay.
I like to throw in some of these other words that people may be using when they mean confidence in the way that we're talking
Hmm.
about it. They may be talking about worthiness or self-esteem, or
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah. Things like that.
Gotcha.
So
Okay. Yeah. So
yeah.
I think what we're saying is if you kind of think surface level, or you saw this episode and you thought, oh, confidence, I don't really need that. Maybe still give it a listen and
Yeah.
kind of think about, well, how are you showing up in dating? Do you think that, someone would be lucky to be with you? Do you think that you're an amazing partner? Do you think that you're, worth being loved, and
Yeah.
that, people will love you?
Yeah. And then just like one more point that just popped into my head. Is when we label ourselves in a certain way, like, oh, I have low confidence or something like that, um it kind of like gets us stuck in the box. So if you are listening to this and you're like, yeah, I'm definitely someone who needs to work on my confidence, focus on the fact that you're working on your confidence and
Yeah.
not the fact that there's something to be fixed or changed or something like that, or that I am a certain way. It's like, right now you are experiencing a low confidence moment and we're working on building that up. Like,
Yep.
you're not stuck in a bucket. So
No. And also, we got your back. We got some really
we
good
got
tips coming
you.
up.
Yeah, speaking of which, let's move on to some action steps. Um so number 1,
Bring it.
yeah. Confidence has a lot to do with the stories that we tell ourselves and the meaning that we assign to neutral circumstances. And I say neutral because everything is neutral until we assign meaning to it.
Okay.
So for this reason, mindfulness and thought work can really help an individual start to feel more confident in themselves. So, starting off with mindfulness, I just want to
Yay.
give
Let's
you
do it.
like one exercise to get you introduced to the mindfulness world.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so mindfulness is important because it will help you be aware of the internal dialogue that's happening all the time. And a lot of the times we just think that, well, we're not even thinking about the thoughts. We just have a thought and we accept it as truth, but it's not. So a good place to start with mindfulness is to start tapping into the difference between your thoughts and the awareness of your thoughts. So there's actually kind of two things happening simultaneously in your mind. A lot of people are not in the awareness of their thoughts a lot of the
Yeah.
time.
And especially after a breakup.
Yeah, you're just swirling thoughts, and those thoughts are being assigned meanings, which are making you feel a certain way, which are making you act a certain way, which we'll get into. But if we can become aware of our thoughts, you'll start to realize that you're kind of this bigger consciousness behind the thinking brain, which is really cool, actually. So you are not your thoughts. Basically, the way I like to explain it is your brain is trying to keep you alive. So it's coming up with these wild accusations. It's just like throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks, because hopefully one of those things keeps you alive. So, you know, you get to choose which one of those you act on.
Yep.
And go from there. But if you're not aware that this is happening, you just take everything at face value and you're just like, oh, I thought it must be true, and it's not. So this has been described, it could be described as like standing on the side of a highway and watching cars, or standing at a train station watching the trains come and go. The thoughts are kind of like trains or cars. I'll stick with trains. It can be whatever you want. So you're watching the unicorns pass by you. So a train comes in, a thought comes into your brain. You're like, okay, cool. That is a thought. And you just acknowledge that it's there, and then it continues on its way and it leaves your brain. When you don't attach to the thought and you just acknowledge its presence, it passes very quickly. You don't have to get on every single train that comes into the station.
This reminds me of what we talked about when we did the episode a couple weeks ago on breakup brain and having the crazy ex feeling. That we said, if you want to overcome the crazy ex feeling and not sending the angry text, not kind of losing control, that you can observe the thought rather than act on it.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, observe the thought. So you're this bigger thing behind the thoughts. The thoughts are, it's just your brain trying to keep you alive, running some programming. You don't have to open the file. Like
No, you don't. And it
you
does take
don't.
some work though. I mean,
It
in the
does.
beginning, you feel like you don't have control over it, but with a little bit of
Yeah.
practice, you'll be amazed that you ever thought that way.
Yes, and
Mhm.
also that's why they call it a practice. Like
Mhm.
no one is 100% at this. Like the freaking monk in the Himalayas, he's having thoughts during his meditation. He just doesn't attach to them. Um it's just very good at letting them go quickly. And so, like yes, this will be really difficult at first. It'll get a little easier, but the thing that makes it easier is realizing that you have to think. Like your brain isn't going to stop producing these thoughts. You just get to choose which ones you listen to. So,
Gotcha.
yeah. So like when a thought comes into your brain, it could be like, I caused this breakup.
Mhm.
You can identify it and say, I notice I'm having the thought that I caused this breakup, solely just me.
Mhm. Or I need them, or
Yeah,
will
I
I ever
need them.
love
I made a
again?
mistake. I
Why
miss
did,
them.
yes. Mhm.
Yeah, all the things. And just say, I'm noticing I'm having the thought that dot, dot, dot. And then watch that thought leave. You don't have to engage with it. You're just like, I noticed that I had that thought. And you repeat this for every thought that enters your mind for as long as you can. You can have like a mindfulness like moment. You can go for a walk, have like a 10-minute walk, and just try to be mindful. Don't listen to music or anything like that while you're walking. Instead, just focus on this practice. And what this does over time is help you detach from your thoughts, so you don't just get on that first train that comes your way. Or if you do find you've gotten on board, which you will inevitably do, like pretty often, you can recognize, oh, I started attaching to that thought. I started like kind of circling it and, really like
Mhm.
obsessing over it. You can recognize it and you can get off at the nearest exit. This can be just as challenging as not engaging the thought in the first place, like getting off of the thought. But like detaching from a train of thought mid transit is just as good of a skill to develop. So don't be discouraged when your mind wanders. You're doing it right. Your mind has to think. It's okay. It's totally normal. You're not doing it wrong. You don't have to beat yourself up. Just go, oh, whoops. I started thinking about that more and more and more. I'm going to get off. I'm going to come back to myself, come back to the awareness. So, yeah, this just gives you another opportunity to practice disengagement. So, detaching from thoughts is difficult, especially for things that are triggering, like a breakup. So,
Yeah, people really struggle with, obsessive cycling thoughts after a breakup, as far as what went wrong, what I wish I would have said, and these are all things that don't do much for the confidence. And so I
yeah,
think it's, yeah, wonderful practice.
yeah. So, you're practicing mindfulness. You're starting to
Hmm.
become aware of the thoughts that you're having. Now you can start to choose which thoughts you attach to, and you can start to rewrite those thoughts.
Yes.
So, yeah. So
And this is
when
why we're
you,
going to give some affirmations at the end,
mhm.
because that if you can pick your favorite one that you're going to say to yourself during this practice that Claire's telling you about, you can rewire how you're thinking about yourself.
Yes, yeah. So the affirmations are great replacements for the just like um for your programmed thoughts that just kind of come
Yeah.
in
I
without
guess a
your
bit of the monkey
intention.
mind. Hmm.
Yeah, your monkey mind. So, um, what I'm going to explain next is the thought model.
All right.
So basically the concept is that circumstances happen, and those circumstances lead to thoughts. The thoughts lead to feelings, the feelings lead to actions, the actions lead to results, which leads to more thoughts, feelings, actions, results, thoughts, feelings, actions, results. But you can change how you feel, act, and your results in your life by changing your thoughts.
Yes.
So the circumstances still the same, but if you can head it off at the pass and change the thought about the circumstance, then you'll feel better, you'll act better, you'll have a better life. So a great example of this is like changing, I made a mistake, quote,
Yep.
to the relationship had an expiration date and it reached the expiration date.
Yep.
It wasn't your fault or their fault. That just, you learned your lessons. Like, yeah, it was painful and it's sad to see things end, but it reached its expiration date. That thought will cause you to feel more positively, both about yourself and about the past relationship, which will help you act in a more forward thinking way, focusing on your future, on picking up new hobbies, on doing some coaching, doing some journaling. And your results will be that your life a year from now will look so different in such a positive way.
Agreed. Another one is, I wish I wouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
You could tell yourself, I'm in control of my future.
Yes.
I spoke about this in the Facebook group a couple weeks ago, is, dwelling on what you wish you would have done rather than, owning the fact that you're in charge of what happens next is completely different. It's still looking at your patterns, but it's a much more positive, confident building way to do it.
Exactly. Like I get to choose not to do that in the future.
Right. Yeah.
It's a big thing. So so mindfulness, become aware of your thoughts and then start changing them. That's my number one. That was a long number one, but
all right, we got it. Mindfulness. Yes. And anyone listening, you might want to listen to this a couple times because it is kind of a lot to take in and process. But it's really, really effective. For sure. So another way to build confidence. This is something that's been quite popular in our community. It's popular all over the internet right now, or social media rather, is journaling. We've got a handful of journal prompts to help you. So first of all, it might help to examine your relationship with confidence overall. So if you feel like this is something that you want to do and won't feel too overwhelmed or triggered, maybe taking a look at how was your confidence before the relationship? How did you feel like it was during, and how do you feel like it is now? So having a little bit of perspective can maybe help. And you can also kind of see where you are with things. If, maybe your confidence was higher during the relationship than it is now, you might have a little bit of work to do, and journaling can help with that. Awesome. So a few more prompts to try. I've had a couple of clients use this one recently. I make a great partner because this can be a little hard if your confidence is low. And so I actually have people email it to me and I say, it's got to be at least 10 long, take the week. And I want to see it because it can be a little overwhelming to think of how great you are when your confidence is suffering. But there are many, many things about you that are wonderful, and you can come up with at least 10, I promise you. And then something that's similar, but actually different. That was a dumb way to put it, but something that's related is what I love about myself is. So, and this is something else that I would probably have a client do. I don't know in what order, but I do think that they're different enough and confident building enough that I do also say I need to have at least 10 things. And then often if someone emails it back to me, I'll say, well, okay, this is wonderful. Let's get 10 more things. So how about this one? A sexy night alone would be, or a fun night alone would be, write a couple pages about that. One of my favorite journal prompts, I desire, and just keep on writing for 10 minutes, all of the things that you want. It could be chocolate cake. It could be a promotion. It could be a vacation. It could be a nice sleep that night. Anything that comes to mind. Another one, my perfect vacation would be, or maybe something that you could do now is my perfect COVID-free summer would be, and write about all the things you want to do this summer. Yeah. So these are not just fun journal prompts. because I'm telling you to write in your journal.
Yeah.
These actually are related to confidence, although it might not seem like it as I'm saying them, because when we start to believe in our ability to do things for ourselves and to ask for what we want, we will begin to take better care of ourselves. Then it will become easier to spoil ourselves. It will become
Mhm.
easier and easier to ask for what we want because we know we deserve it. And we will begin to believe that we're worth all of it.
Mm,
So you
so
don't, it's
good.
not all about just uncovering how wonderful you are. It's a big part of it, but it's also knowing that you're worth asking for what you want and that you deserve to get
Yeah.
it.
And that you can give it to yourself. You don't need someone
Yes.
else, like external.
So journal prompts.
Awesome.
There you
Yes, highly recommend.
go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Journaling. All right. So number 3, forgive yourself. If you're
Mm.
if you can grieve the breakup without attacking yourself, without blaming, like, you can see places where you can improve and be like, I'm going to change that next time and be better in the future. But like there's a difference between being aware of places you want to improve and attacking yourself over what you did
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
So if
It can
you
really
can,
get you in a hole.
it can. Yeah, and it doesn't change the
Mhm.
past. It doesn't change the past. You can only
That's the
change the
thing.
future.
Yep.
And, being kind to yourself right now and being aware of these things, it will help your grieving process of being like, yeah, I see where I want to improve. I see what I'm going to change in the future, but you're not like, I am terrible. I'm worthless. Why would anyone want to be with me?
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
blah. Like you're
Hmm.
not going to be able to grieve properly if you're just like hating on yourself the whole time. So it'll smooth the healing process. It'll make it go faster. The quicker you can start changing your inner dialogue about yourself.
Yes, completely. No amount of hating yourself is going to, change the outcome. So, or the past, I guess is what I mean.
Yeah.
All right. So, separate how you perceive yourself from how others have perceived you, including your ex. There's nothing you
Yes.
can do about the past, what others have thought, what your ex has thought. There's nothing you can do to change someone's mind.
Mhm.
Worrying about what others think, especially your ex, is just a perfect recipe for misery. This is also something that I've seen people get really caught up with as far as the cycling thoughts go, is this what others think. And it's one of the least productive things that you can probably
Yeah,
dwell on. So
because you
yeah,
can't change
try and yeah.
it at all.
No, no,
Yeah,
you have no power over that. You only have power over, how much you love yourself, not how much others,
exactly.
care about you or think about you.
Yeah, yeah. So, extending off of that, though, is to be
Mhm.
compassionate to others as well. Because when
Yep.
you can
Yep.
start to see like the best in other people, it becomes a lot easier to see that in yourself as well. And I think typically it is that people are their own worst critic, and things they would let go in a second if someone else did, they will just like beat themselves up about over and over and over again. But if you're conscious about being compassionate to others, even if that was your default anyway, you
Mhm.
can then extend that to yourself and be like, well, if my friend told me this, like, would I say aloud the things I'm saying to
Right.
myself right now?
Hmm.
Would I be like, duh, like blah blah
Mm.
blah, and tell like, oh, Janice, you're terrible, and
Yeah,
like
you
no
shouldn't
one will
have
love
done
you,
that.
like,
Yeah, it
yeah,
was
come
your
on.
fault. You messed things up. I mean,
Yeah,
some friends do, not good ones.
not
So, yeah,
good
consider that.
ones. You won't be
Hmm.
friends
Hmm.
for long.
No,
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
I had it happen to me and I didn't talk to the people for years.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I mean, and this goes right to the next point, which is to say no to people who bring you down and make you feel bad about yourself.
Yes.
So, I mean, they're out there. Even people who might be kind of cool otherwise for some reason during a breakup aren't that helpful.
Yeah.
You need to kind of gauge things as you go, but you need to surround yourself by people who support you and who see the best in you.
Yeah.
People who are going to play the blame game with you after your breakup, just you need to create distance with for a while. I
Mhm.
really learned this after one of my breakups. I've talked about it quite a bit. I consider myself to have high self-worth and confidence, always dance my own dance when it comes to life. But I was down, and the people around me, it just seeped in, and it got to me big time. So if
Mhm.
you're around negative people and you're already feeling down, you can internalize things, before you
Yeah.
know it. So be very cautious.
Yeah, totally. Say no.
Yep.
Just say
Yep.
no.
And you have the
Um,
power, regardless of how well you know the people, regardless if they're your family, it's still a choice. It's
yeah, it's
still
still
a
a
choice.
choice. And you can draw a boundary and be like, I won't be around this person,
Yeah.
for the next couple of months while I'm
Until I'm
recovering
feeling
from
better.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can also be compassionate and know that it's their own shit. Like
Yep.
the way they
Yes.
are acting towards you, it speaks volumes about the way they perceive themselves.
Yep.
Most of the time, people are just projecting onto you how they feel about themselves, but that doesn't mean you need to put up with it.
No,
Um,
especially when you're struggling.
yeah, exactly. So you can see how it's someone's own shit and be like, I will not be around that right now.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
Completely. I mean, and making even decisions like that can help with your confidence because
Yeah.
you are telling yourself that you have the ability to do it, and then you're
Yes.
doing it.
Yeah. And you realize that you don't die when you set a boundary.
Yeah.
You're still
Oh,
here.
boundaries are so good for confidence for sure.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. So, yeah. So number 7, confidence is built on small wins over time. So like a small win could be setting a boundary. A small win could be like I managed to change a thought to a different thought that I still believe that did make me feel better. It could be like I went to the yoga studio twice this week. Like these small wins build up over time and they start to have an impact on your confidence. So this could be like developing a new hobby, being just open
Yes.
to new experiences and new friendships. Say yes to things. I
Mhm.
mean, you don't have
Mhm.
to say yes to everything. I don't like being like, say yes to everything for a week, like
Right. I also
that.
think that that's kind of weird advice. I,
Yeah.
I always like, how is that a thing? That
Yeah. But
especially if it feels like a burden.
exactly.
Say yes to something that maybe you're curious about or that you
Yeah.
feel is pushing you outside your comfort zone in a
Exactly,
good
your comfort
way.
zone.
Hmm.
Yeah, something that's like, I've always really wanted to try this, but like there's always been a reason that
Hmm.
I couldn't, that I made up for myself. Those things where you're like, I would have usually said no because like what
Yeah,
if there's too
exactly.
many people
Hmm.
or like what if it, I get I don't know. Like, yeah, if you're overthinking things that
Yeah.
you would usually say
Or
no because of overthinking, say
mhm.
yes.
Yep. A good example could be that you maybe haven't gone and done something because you didn't want to go alone
Yes.
or because your partner didn't want to go. So now go do it. Go do it alone. I mean, especially if it pushes
Yeah.
you outside your comfort zone,
Yes.
go and do something new. Something for some reason that came to mind is, like doing a whiskey or a tequila tasting. Maybe, your partner didn't want to
Yeah.
do that, but you've been holding yourself back because you think that's a date thing. Just go
Yeah.
and do it.
Just do
Go
it.
do it.
Yeah.
So, learning something new is also, and hobbies are things that I talked about on the loneliness episode. It helps to take up time. Overcoming the learning curve as far as learning a new skill is obviously really good for confidence,
Yeah.
really good. And
Yeah.
like I said, helps with loneliness. Adding a little bit of a routine into your day or week, it helps with follow through, which is also really good for confidence.
Yeah.
Learning something new or doing something new is really exciting, which is a really good emotion related to confidence. So it kind of has this circular effect when we do things that make us feel good and that show us what we're capable of. It all feeds into each other.
Yeah, an upward spiral.
Yep.
Yeah, just like building off of that, keeping promises to yourself, I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
is huge for confidence. Um, because I think we're usually the first person we let down. You know, if I told you that like, hey, we're gonna meet up on Saturday and we're gonna go do this thing, I'm going to show up on Saturday. I'm going to do the thing. But if I just told myself I'm going to do this thing on Saturday, it's so easy to be like, well, it's not going to really work out right now. I'm going to not do it. You know, but no, it really matters that you break promises to yourself. So if you're going to
Oh,
set
yes.
something, keep it.
Yeah.
Because you do it once and you're like, hell yeah, I kept a
Yeah.
promise to myself.
I have been doing the 6 a.m. thing for the month of June,
Mhm.
and it does. It makes me feel great. I have mostly kept to it. As you know, I've been sick a couple days. I had my vaccine. Ugh. And so it hasn't been every day, which I did definitely allow myself that. But
Yeah.
almost every day I've been up at 6 a.m. and I have had moments where I am like, you're killing it. Yeah. It does feel
That's
really good.
awesome.
And I
Yeah,
mean, look, early mornings aren't for everyone. But I can definitely say, yes, it does help with the confidence a lot to keep
totally.
promises to yourself.
Totally. All right. Challenge yourself
I'm
physically.
really glad you put this in
Yeah,
here. I also would have. Yeah.
it is huge. Like, you carry yourself physically through life. Literally, you carry yourself.
Yeah.
And so when you start to have like physical wins in the gym or yoga or CrossFit or rowing or whatever, it has mental and emotional results as well
Mhm.
because you are metaphorically overcoming something as well. And I always hear this quote, like, I don't know who said it, but your body will get your brain will give out way before your body will. Like when you're working out or something like that, it's always your mind that's like, no, I can't do another rep or like whatever. But when you start to be like, no, I'm gonna do one more rep, like don't go crazy, like but just go a little bit further than you've gone before and you realize, oh my god, I have power over myself. I can push myself. I'm capable. I'm worth doing this for myself. It really does have positive effects, and the endorphins
Yeah, I was just
and
going to say
the
the
hormone soup really
chemicals. Yeah,
helps.
the
Yeah.
chemicals are really great for confidence.
Yes.
Yes, I completely agree. Exercise is wonderful for breakups and definitely for confidence as
Yeah.
well. Yeah, maybe having some goals related to it could
Hmm.
help. So another way to build your confidence is make sure to stay connected with positive people, with good support. You know, get out there a little bit. Surround yourself not only with positive people, but listen to them when they tell you how
Yeah.
great you are.
Believe them.
Yes, and I added to this, listen to us when we tell you how great you are. If you
Yeah.
haven't heard it today, I want you to hear it from us. The
Yeah.
fact that you're listening to this podcast means that you're really dedicated to your healing, and I think that you're wonderful. So take that, to keep you going for the next 24 hours. And believe us. Believe other
Yes.
people.
Believe
Yeah.
us. Yes. And finally, seek help when you need it. I have to say, like coaching, also like seeing a therapist, those things can really help your confidence because you suddenly realize you're like, oh, I'm not alone.
Yeah.
I have support. I'm actually pretty awesome. And
Yes.
sometimes having someone just tell you, like, no, that's normal. You're not like this weird, like, thing, you know?
Yeah, I know. Especially when it comes to breakups, I think maybe it actually helps to have
Yeah.
someone tell you that, this is what everyone
Yeah.
goes through.
It's, you know,
It's not crazy.
one of the things that seeking help can help with is like, for instance, no contact. Like there's usually a moment when you break no contact,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
having someone there on your side who's like, that's okay. That's human, but how did it feel when you did that? Okay, we're going to do
Yep.
better now. You know,
Yep.
instead of just being alone in your head, like, I failed, no
Yeah.
contact, I'm terrible, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah.
I feel even worse now. That was stupid. Yeah, completely. We are, cheerleading for people. I mean, having
Mhm.
your own personal cheerleader during a breakup is
Yeah,
very good for your confidence. So yeah,
exactly. So,
hit us up
yeah,
for sure.
seeking help, there's nothing wrong with it, and it can only help your confidence, actually. So,
Yep. Yep.
yeah.
That's what we're here for. All right. As we often say, a breakup is an opportunity to work on your confidence and improve the relationship that you have with yourself. The better
Yes.
your relationship with yourself is, the better your relationship with others is going to be. Absolutely, the more magnetic and attractive you are. I promise you. I mean, we haven't said this yet, and I guess it's kind of a cliche, but I actually think it's a cliche because it's true. And that is that confidence is the sexiest quality. It is the probably the best thing that you
100%.
can have if you're getting out there. You
Yeah.
can tell how a person feels about
Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah. And, if you're, in the future, you're like dating again and someone doesn't like that you're confident, red fucking flag.
That's
Red flag.
okay. If that's not a reflection or a deflection, I don't know what is. Yeah,
Yeah.
completely.
Like, oh, I'm sorry. I want you to depend on me for your confidence.
No.
And I don't want you to do things that you enjoy and
Mhm.
believe that you're worthy. Like, hell no.
No,
Get away
no,
from that person. Run.
absolutely.
Like,
If
it
you're
will only be a
confident,
turn on.
yep.
Sorry.
If right, well, and if you're confident, you will be able to just be like, no,
No.
next.
Yeah, exactly. True confidence. That's a test of the true
Yes,
confidence. If
yes,
someone's
it
like,
does help with making decisions in dating. Absolutely,
yes. Oh,
100%.
so good. So,
So,
yeah.
all right. We want to leave you with some confident building affirmations. So, I
Woo.
guess pen and paper or listen to this again.
Yeah.
We drop affirmations on our feeds. Oh, you can come to the Facebook group. We'll drop the whole list there.
Yeah.
We're on Breakups, Broken Hearts, and Moving On Facebook. So, I guess, do you want to take turns?
Sure.
All right.
I am more than the person other people perceive me to be.
I am kind to myself.
I see the best in myself and others.
I love the way I show up for myself.
I have so much to offer.
I am doing so well.
I am thankful for myself and everything I am capable of.
Yeah. Put them around your apartment.
Yeah.
Choose, your favorite one that you're going to repeat when you start to have the cycling thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you can always, if you have words that mean more to you, use that affirmation. Like, you can tailor these to your own things. And I just want to say, like, we talk about affirmations a lot, but they are so, so important. And it really does have an effect. It really does. Yeah, like they've even done like studies on chronic pain and having affirmations like, I am calm, I am comfortable, I am safe. Repeating things to themselves like that has helped chronic pain experiencers or patients feel
Yeah.
less pain.
So scroll back up because we did an episode on the power of affirmations during breakups a couple months back. I'm not sure the
Yeah.
episode number. Though I'm gonna start keeping these in the
Yeah.
little studio so I can reference them.
30s. I think it
So
was in the 30s.
we did a really great episode on affirmations, and one of the studies that we cited was actually research that I think a back doctor had done.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's not proof, I mean, back pain. Oh,
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
someone who has struggled with it, if a back doctor is saying that they're
Yes.
effective, then I think there's
Yeah.
something to that.
It is so huge. So, yeah. So, use our affirmations or make up your own, but make sure they're positive and they're stated in the positive. So it's not like, I don't
Right.
feel sad. You want to say, I feel happy.
Yep. And we
You
go
know?
over all of that in the episode as far as how to craft your own.
Exactly. Yeah. So we have like a track for breakup affirmations and then also just positive affirmations, I think.
So we have a breakup affirmations and then a no contact affirmation.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
So, if those sound like they'd be helpful to you, we made them into like actual meditation tracks. So you can just replay it over and over. There's like some nice music in the background. Yeah. So that
we did
is
it for you. We did it for you.
It's for you. It's all for you.
And we think that you're so great. We love our audience. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you want to hang out with us more often, like I said, head to the Facebook group. Let us know what you think in the DMs and the reviews. And you've got this.
Yeah, you have got this, and we are here for you, and we believe in you, and we know you're just gonna totally kill it and run away with this, and your confidence is gonna be off the charts.
Yeah, baby.
Awesome. Well, we will speak to your ears again very soon, and talk to you soon. Thanks for listening to X-Files, a podcast about breakups, broken hearts, and moving on.
If you like this episode, tag us on your Instagram story so we can connect with you.
And you can find me, Claire, on Instagram at Claire Lofthouse.
And me, Janice, on Instagram at Janice Formicella. If you'd like to join our online community, find us on Facebook at Breakups, Broken Hearts, and Moving On.
And here's a preview of our next episode. You can love someone and still choose not to keep them in your life. This is my experience with loving someone and choosing not to have them in my life. As you can imagine, there's a reason why he has the pseudonym Dumpster Fire. Together we were a dumpster fire. I had a lot to work on, but boy, did he have a lot to work on too. And together we were a hot dumpster fire. So many sparks. But at the end of the day, it's still burning trash.